Hi everyone, it's me, Aiden. I'm sitting at my studio and I was realizing I used to post videos a lot more often and I haven't done that for a while. And um, I missed it a little bit. I like to do this to organize my thoughts. As you know, you work in the studio, and I think a lot of us work alone, and you get to thinking about things, and I maybe want to make this a more formal, almost like a vlog, I guess, where I just think about art and life and art life. Maybe that's what we'll call it, art life, and and then just put it out there and hear what you all think as well, and start that sort of discourse, that interaction, because it certainly helps me to organize these things and get my head around them when I hear them out loud. And the one thing I was thinking of recently is I just had a show, showcasing some of my art, and the one thing I noticed, and I expected it, a lot of people were very affected by it. Either thought maybe it was very dark or disturbing, or it just struck them very personally, and that's of course what I wanted. Um, I make pretty deeply personal pieces, and a lot of that story is very painful for me, and I wanted people to know and to see that. But it got me thinking more broadly about art, quote, disturbing art, and how do we as art patrons, art viewers, um, interact with that? How do we think about an image that disturbs us? And the one perspective that I think is lost on people, particularly if they do not make art themselves, is the the perspective of the artist, and realizing how long it takes to create some of this art. I purposefully set up with this trio of pieces in the background, and they were sort of the centerpiece of my exhibition. And they're a triptych about my eating disorders and my self-injury, and all of that. And they're very personal pieces for me, and I spent a lot of time on them, hundreds of hours. There's a lot of drawing, a lot of collaging. I mean, it was a big task for me. And so as an art viewer, when you look at these things, you may be there for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes if you're really into it. And then you move on to the next thing. And I think when you're looking at a piece of art that is disturbing to you, or nightmarish or painful, and you can see that, I think that it is a good perspective to realize how long the artist spent with that image. Your 2 minutes versus their 200 hours. I sat with these for 200 hours. I thought about these things, these memories, these feelings of mine for 200 hours, so that I could share them with you for 2 minutes. That's a huge commitment. It's not just a commitment of time, that's a commitment of heart. Some of that's very painful to work through, and I think when you see an image that's disturbing, it is important to realize that came from somebody's mind. They lived with that. They spent time laboring over every detail of it, and that idea may be out of them now onto canvas or paper or sculpture or whatever, but the memory of creating it is in its place. So that pain, those images never really leave the artist. And I think that's a good perspective to carry. I think that's something good to keep in mind when you look at these things, is think about the human being on the other side of the canvas. Anyway, That was my musing art life episode 1, I guess. I'm very interested to know what you guys think. Do any of you make art that is disturbing or frightening? And why? And how does it affect you? Anyway, I love you all. Thank you to everyone who listened and does listen and follows me and all of that stuff. And I'll talk to you later, I promise.